Welcome to the Cruise TV Canada, the show where we focus on the stories and people behind some of the most amazing rides on the road. I'm your host, Stephanie Listoria, and on this episode, we visit Supersonic Road Racing School, created by Canadian Motorcycle Hall of Fame recipient Toni Sharpless. Toni is the first woman with a Canadian Motorcycle Association championship. She was also a Yamaha Factory Racer and over her career raced worldwide from Daytona to Lemans to Suzuka. Toni created her school after retiring with the goal of providing a safe and fun introduction to motorcycle racing for all ages, with a clear aim to give rise to future Canadian champions. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Toni Sharpless. I am at Flamborough Speedway down near Hamilton, Ontario, and we're running a Supersonics road race school today. It's a sunny day and we have quite a few customers out today to learn how to road race. It's a sport that I'm really passionate about, and I have done it back in the old days, back in the 80s. I raced for 10 years at road racing. I was fortunate enough to race for Yamaha Motor Company in Japan. I raced in Japan and over in Europe and in the States, and it was exciting times. It was a time where I had a big dream to race in the national series and internationally, and it was a big dream that I had as a kid when I was growing up. I grew up with two brothers, and the three of us would fight over a little mini bike that we got for Christmas one year. And I was the oldest, so I had the longest legs and longest arms. I would run after them and pull them off the bike when I thought it was my turn. So anyway, we eventually got our own bikes, and each of us took up a different sport. Eventually, after ice racing, winning a couple of championships there, and then I went to flat track and was vice champion there. And then a friend of mine from flat track said to me, "You know what, Toni, you should try road racing." So that was when I was 22. I bought a RD 350 LC, 1982. Stayed up all night at my brother's motorcycle shop, trying to get it all ready for road racing. Loaded in my van and drove off to Michigan to take a school and to race. I started at the back of the grid and finished in 4th place and was hooked. It was like, I don't know, giving a beer to an alcoholic. I don't know, I was just totally hooked on the sport, and it absorbed me for 10 years. And big dreams there was to race internationally in the highest competition that I could achieve. And I just thought I'd dream big and see where it took me. And it took me to Japan and to Europe, and I raced in the Le Mans 24-hour a couple of times, and the Bull d'Or 24-hour, and then the Suzuka 8-hour in Japan a couple of times. So my father, Bill Sharpless, was a champion racing, road racing. They called it scrambles back then, which was the beginning of motocross, and then enduros he did as well, and earned the #1 plate in all of them, which earned him a spot in the Canadian Motorcycle Hall of Fame, and he's also in the motorsports, Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. And he ran a shop with his partner, John DeGrucci. It was called Sonic Motorcycles. It was in Scarborough, Ontario. And he had every racer coming through that shop. They sponsored flat trackers, motocrossers, hill climbers, enduros, road racers. And so that's what we grew up with, my brothers and I, hanging around that shop and seeing all of the racers, and that's how we really got immersed into motorcycle racing. So growing up with two brothers, we all took different directions in motorcycling competition. My one brother, Todd, went to flat track, which is a sport that I really loved, and did that with him for quite a few years in my teen years. And my other brother, Blair, he took to enduros, which is like a car rally through the woods. It's on single track trail, and he's very good at it. Both my brothers are very good at their sport. And it wasn't until a friend asked me to come and try road racing that I kind of found my sport. So road racing kind of hooked me as a kid, and I really loved the challenge that it gave me, the camaraderie in the pits, the thrill of speed really was the big draw. And so fast forward a little bit after that, I got a nomination to be inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame, and which was a really great honor. I was really moved by that. It's a great honor to be inducted into the Canadian Motorcycle Hall of Fame, and I really appreciate the people that procured that and got that going, which is Bar Hudson and Haiti and the Hall of Fame crew. And it was really an exciting time of my life to race internationally. It was a real honor to race for Yamaha Motor Company back in the 80s. And here I am back again at the racetrack. When I had a cancer diagnosis, I took a break and had to go and, I call it a pit stop. I went for a pit stop, got all fixed up, and then I thought, well, what should I do for rehab? I think I'll take up motocross. So I never motocrossed as a kid, but I did ride in the dirt, and I did do enduros and trail riding. And I took up motocross and learned how to jump. I was in my 30s, and I think every corner worker at the track could hear me screaming in the air because I just didn't feel very comfortable up there in the air. So I brought it back down to the ground and started a dirt bike school with my brother in 1992, my brother Blair Sharpless. My other brother Todd was still racing flat track and winning races, so he wasn't ready to retire and come and help us at the dirt bike school. And Blair and I ran that school for quite a few years. We had another friend come and join us, Warren Thaxter. And customers were really appreciative of having something like that they could show up in their shorts and t-shirt, and we fully dressed them in all of the riding gear and took them out and taught them how to ride a dirt bike. And we taught them how to ride in the woods. They got to go for a ride in the woods following one of the instructors, and they really loved that. And when I came around to wondering how I was going to boost the sport of road racing, I thought maybe the same recipe would work. So here I am at the Supersonic School, running the same recipe that my brother and I started in 1992. I met my husband in Michigan at a dirt bike event, and we started riding dirt bike events. At the time I was running the dirt bike school with my brother Blair, and I had a friend that kept bugging me to come and ride his bike at the road race track. And I kept saying to my husband, who we eventually married after we met at the dirt bike race, you know what, I think I gotta go try his bike. He's been bugging me for 5 years to come and ride his motorcycle. So it was a Ninja 300, and I used to race super bikes back in the day, Yamaha YZF 750s. And I thought, well, you know, I was being a bit of a snob, to be truthful, and I thought the bike is too slow, and that's why I turned it down for 5 years. So I finally took him up on his offer just to really quiet him down. And I went out there and borrowed leathers, boots, helmet, everything, because all my stuff was all for riding in the dirt. And I went out there and I absolutely sucked. I was terrible. There was people trying to get around me because I was trying to ride it looking for the horsepower, and on a Ninja 300 there just isn't any. You have to ride it completely different by using momentum and race strategy. So I came into the pit. I couldn't get my face shield open. I was trying to open it quickly so I could talk to my husband and tell him how much I sucked out there. He'd never seen me road race before, so this was a really great intro for him, not. But I opened up the face shield and said, I really suck, we have to get one of these. So of course I got a Yamaha R3 because I bleed blue, because of my connection from Yamaha Motor Company sponsoring me back in the 80s. And it's 2018 now, and I go out on my R3, and I just kept working at it, trying to figure out how to race a lightweight bike quickly. So I got hooked, and I've been racing CSBK for the last 5 years. And looking around the pits, I noticed that there was a whole bunch of old people like me, and I thought this sport isn't going to survive if there's just old people. So COVID came, and I was sitting at home in my kitchen, and I thought, I'm gonna see what's going on in the world of road racing. And I saw a lot of mini GP racing in Australia, Indonesia, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, everywhere. And even in Western Canada, there was a club that was doing some mini racing on go-kart tracks. So I was like, well, we need this in Ontario, and we need a national series in Canada so that we can go and race in the international series, the World Finals, the FIM Mini GP World Finals that I found, which happens in Spain every year. So I was like, how do I connect the dots? How do I make this happen? I thought, well, back to my recipe that we use for dirt bike school, I'm gonna do the same for the road racing. And so I came up with the name Supersonic Road Race School because Sonic is from my dad's motorcycle shop, Sonic Motorcycles, that he ran in Scarborough. And my mom sold a lot of bikes to my friends, actually. I still have friends come up to me and say, your mom sold me my first motorcycle. So I thought Sonic had to be in the name of the school. So I got, my husband Jamie came up with the idea, why don't you advertise to all your friends that you need some leather suits for the school. So we had over 35 suits donated to us from all of the motorcycle community to help us get started. I mean, it's just been really cool, and I had a bunch of friends come forward to come and help me at the school, young and old, you know, competitors from the racetrack. they all stepped forward and said, you know, what can I do to help? And I said, well, I need coaches. I need people to help with, the logistics. I need people to help with the races. We need to put on a race series, something that everybody can ride, 5 to 95 years old. So you could come out and race on a mini GP bike or a mini moto bike, which is a converted dirt bike, and just come and feel the sport and see what it's all about. It's still relatively new for a lot of people because you had to be 15 years old to start road racing prior to us running the school. And now we're able to feed the series with 14-year-olds that are already very experienced because they're coming through the school. So I'm feeding the sport, but my ultimate goal is to put Canada and a Canadian flag on the podium at MotoGP. I know it's a lofty goal, and I know it's going to take a lot of years to come to fruition, but I think that Canadians have the talent and we have the drive. We just need accessibility, and that's what I'm trying to provide with the school, is to provide a gateway and an entranceway, and then with the FIM Mini GP Canada series, a way for 10 to 14-year-olds to experience it and get their racecraft developed before they go to big bikes. So that's the goal. My goal is to reach for the sky, really. So the sky in our sport is MotoGP.
So Toni and I, we met when I used to have a shop called Speedworks, and Toni was one of my reps for Motovan, and we just kind of, had a good friendship that just started out of that, and we were very like-minded, and so yeah, it was cool to see Toni start something like this. It was really fun to watch.
When Toni started the school about 4 years ago, she called me to kind of get some ideas on how to start and where to go, and kind of just been a part of it ever since then, and enjoy coming out and just helping new people ride. Yeah, we're just teaching them like the basics of road racing, so just kind of throttle control, body position, and just kind of a little bit of everything about riding.
The amount of confidence that somebody like young kids start out with compared to like at the end of the day, and it's just amazing to be able to see them just get over these obstacles, get over the fears of of the speed and leaning down and even dragging a knee, and it's just amazing to see that fear just turned into exhilaration and joy.
I've been going here for like a year now, so I learned. I finally got down my figure eights, which I think was a really big step forward in my career that I want to pursue. But yeah.
I don't get there.
I'm aiming for Isle of Man, but I just want to be good enough that I'm known in the racing world.
I want to be in MotoGP, but
Me too.
if I don't get that job, then I won't care.
We put together a race series for the inaugural year was last year in 2023. And we had some exceptional kids come, and the families were just really super supportive. The one mom, Carolyn Hardwick, drove down from Sudbury, I don't know how many times. It was more than 20 times. She drove over 4 hours to bring her son Ben down to the school. And we got him up to speed so that he could join the series. We had Michael Galvis come. He's originally from Colombia. Him and his dad came to Canada, and he was just, really determined to be a MotoGP star. He has stars in his eyes for sure. So we recognized his talent, and we helped nurture him along as well. And then we had kids from out west that were from the Mini GP club that's out in Calgary, and there's another one in BC near Chilliwack. These two clubs, one's called Pacific Coast Mini GP Club, do a great job. Like they've got some more kids coming along, and then the Calgary one called the AMRA, Alberta Road Racing Mini GP Club. They're just doing a great job out there. So we had a good grid last year, and it was really amazing how all of the community, the motorcycle community, came together to help. We did a GoFundMe to help get the kids over to Spain, the top 2 out of the championship. Remember, these kids are 10 to 14 years old, and some of them had never traveled out of Canada before. So the top 2 that won the championship got to go and race in the world final. And this is against kids that have been racing on go-kart tracks on Mini GP bikes since they were 2. So their Timbits hockey looks like kids on motorcycles. It's quite different than it is here in Canada. So our 2 kids, Ben Hardwick and Michael Galvis, they put up such a big fight and did a really great job. And they didn't make it to the final, but they made it up to the semifinal with good battles with Ireland and Austria. They had great battles going on, and it was really, we have goosebumps. The whole Team Canada, all of my friends that pulled together to come and help, they supported, working on the bikes, helping the kids, coaching the kids. We had Thomas Cassis there. He's a pro superbike racer here in Canada, races for Yamaha. He's a coach for a supersonic school as well. And Thomas was coaching the kids, gave up his time to do that. We had Steve Campbell, head of the technicians. He looked after all the bikes. I mean, it was amazing. Stacy Iwata, he came, and his support too, making sure that no one was left behind. Somebody had a place to stay. He made sure he looked after all the logistics. I mean, we really had a team, and I'd like to thank all of them for pulling together, because it takes a team to put it together and to head towards MotoGP. It's going to take a lot of work, and I really appreciate everyone. Motul Oil, they stepped on board right from the beginning. Pirelli Tires, they give us a lot of support. And then we also have some others that came up and gave us some free product. So it's just been, I think if we all pull together, I think we can achieve putting a Canadian flag on the podium at MotoGP.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Cruise TV Canada. If you'd like to feature your car, event, or automotive business on future episodes, please reach out to us on our Instagram. Until next time, I'm your host, Stephanie Lastoria, and we'll see you cruising out on the open roads.